If you're running a wholesale business, you absolutely know the feeling. That constant juggling act, the operational chaos. Today we're going to look at a real-world company, Vibe Coffee Group, and see how they tamed that chaos and now save a ton of time every single month.
But first, let me ask you something. Seriously, think about your own business for a second. How many different ways do your customers actually send you an order?
Maybe it's the classic phone call. You're scribbling an order down on some random piece of paper, just hoping you heard every single detail right. It's a method, for sure, but is it really the best way?
Or what about text messages? Super convenient for your client, right? But for you, it's just another piece of critical information that's floating around in a totally separate app, completely disconnected from your actual workflow.
And oh yeah, let's not forget faxes and that endless waterfall of emails. Every single one has to be manually typed into your system, which, is just another chance for a small or big mistake. When you add it all up, it is a recipe for total chaos. And that is the exact problem we're going to see get solved today.
So let's meet the company at the center of all this, Vibe Coffee Group. They were living this exact complex, messy reality every single day, all while trying to grow their business.
And Vibe isn't just some simple little operation. No, they're actually managing two very different but very successful brands. You've got Whidbey Coffee with that cozy neighborhood cafe feel, and then you have Victrola Coffee, a much more high-end, hipster brand famous in Seattle. Juggling both meant they absolutely needed an organized system.
This quote from Gina over at Vibe really just hits the nail on the head. She knew that getting all their orders into one single streamlined process wasn't just about being organized. It was about money. See, the real takeaway here is that all those scattered, old-school methods were actively costing their business. So with that reality staring them in the face, they made a huge decision. It was time to finally ditch the chaos and switch to one single platform.
The owner, Dan, he had this one crystal clear vision: get every single one of their wholesale accounts onto BlueCart. The goal wasn't just to buy another piece of software. It was to build one single unified process for everything: ordering, billing, the whole shebang. This was a strategic move aimed squarely at saving time and saving money.
Okay, so theory is one thing, but what does that actually look like on, say, a random Tuesday morning? How did it really change their day-to-day work? Let's walk through a day in the life with this new workflow.
Just look at how simple this is. Instead of that frantic juggling of emails and texts, Gina's billing process is now this straightforward 4-step routine. Every single day, she checks the order history, runs the billing, marks things as shipped, and creates the bill. That's it. It's predictable, it's repeatable, and man, is it efficient.
And, the benefits went way beyond just processing orders. Managing their actual products became so much easier. The platform's catalog feature gave Gina total control. She wasn't stuck calling a developer or fighting with some clunky system just to make a simple price change anymore.
And this kind of control is just a game changer in the wholesale world. She can turn products on or off in an instant, which is perfect for seasonal items. She can change prices on the fly, even for just one specific order if she's giving someone a special deal. And hey, if a client calls in a panic, she can jump in and create an order for them in seconds. This is the kind of flexibility that literally saves hours.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. Anyone who's ever used business software knows this. Features are great, but what happens when something breaks? Well, for Vibe Coffee, having responsive support turned out to be huge.
So here's a real thing that happened to Gina. She was trying to process a bulk discount, a pretty critical money-related task, and she hit a wall, a glitch. And this is that moment that can just bring your entire workday to a grinding halt.
So, she's stuck. How long do you think it took to get a fix? A day? A week? Nope. The problem was solved in 2 hours. That's it. An issue that could have totally wrecked her billing schedule was fixed in less time than a long lunch break.
And Gina explains exactly why this is so important. This isn't just about convenience, it's about cash flow, plain and simple. When you're trying to bill somebody, you need the system to just work. Fast support means they get their money on time, which keeps the whole business running smoothly.
So the internal perks are pretty obvious, but the really powerful part of this story is how all that internal efficiency started this ripple effect and ended up making things way, way better for Vibe's own customers. Just think about it from the customer side of things. All of a sudden, they have one easy platform to place their orders and pay their bills. They have more control over their own information, and they have a direct line to Vibe with messaging. Vibe didn't just make their own lives easier, they made themselves easier to do business with.
And this final thought from Gina just brings it all home. At the end of the day, the best tools are the ones that help you build stronger relationships. When the whole process is easy and clear for everybody, it builds trust, it lets everyone focus on the actual business, not the tedious paperwork.
So the takeaway from Vibe Coffee's story is pretty clear. Streamlining your operations isn't just about saving a few hours here and there. It's about building a fundamentally stronger, more reliable, and more professional business. Which really just leaves one question. Are you ready to do the same?